This is Just the Job. Hi there and welcome to Just the Job. We have another great show lined up for you this week, and as always, we'll be bringing you 3 varied and unique careers, and you never know, one of them could end up being the career for you. We'll also have a whole lot of helpful advice to make that all-important career decision a whole lot easier as well. In today's show, 18-year-old Kevin checks out a state-of-the-art water treatment facility in Pawanui. Rob learns he's not too shabby when it comes to operating some impressive hire equipment. And 17-year-old Danielle is hoping for a career with a technology aspect would be a good idea, so we find something that could be just the job for her. But first up, let's join Kevin as he braces himself for what he expects to be a somewhat dirty and smelly look behind the scenes of one of the country's most advanced wastewater treatment facilities.
My name is Kevin Wong and my age is 18, and we're looking at wastewater treatment today.
It all has to go somewhere. Kevin's off to Pawanui in the Coromandel, where he's flushing out the notion that a job dealing with wastewater is not a job to be sniffed at. This small holiday settlement is one of the most advanced treatment facilities in New Zealand.
Hi Terry.
Hey Kevin, how you going?
Pretty good, thanks.
Oh well, come in and I'll show you around.
Awesome, thanks.
The Thames Coromandel District Council wanted a top-notch wastewater treatment plant, and this is what we've got here today. The people in the community have got no tolerance to poor quality wastewater being disposed of in the environment now, and I think what they've done here is fantastic. I've been doing this for about 20 years now.
Yes,
Find it really exciting. I get a real good hands-on with the mechanical knowledge. I can be using a computer next. Operating a lab, doing a lot of critical tests for the process. So it's a whole range of expertise.
Kevin first gets to see where the raw sewage arrives at the plant.
Yeah, well, Kevin, this is where it all happens, mate. This is where the raw sewage first comes into the treatment plant.
Oh, okay.
What we've got here is we've got a step screen, and what happens? What the step screen does is it removes all the unbiodegradable material, plastics, bits of wood, sticks, and stuff like that. So in the system here is a screen, and the screen is actually removing all that material that we don't want in our process.
So sort of like an escalator going up and down.
Yeah, like exactly like that.
First job for Kevin, clearing one of the steps that's blocked.
Whoa.
What you don't want to do is have it full blast, because if you have it full blast, we're going to get wet.
Okay.
I'm going to get wet.
Better stand back
That
then.
ain't going to happen.
All right,
So
let's
just
go.
do it really, really slowly. Yeah. So don't get your face too close to me, because you will get some back.
Yeah.
This job would suit a hands-on person, but also a person who takes pride in their job as well. It's not a job that you can sort of sit back and not pay attention to it. It's your first job for today. Well done.
Awesome.
The main part of the process happens here in the aeration tank or reactor. The incoming raw sewage or influent is literally eaten by millions of bugs.
So we've got the food, which is the raw influent, the biomass, and the bacteria that actually needs air to actually survive as well.
Okay.
So just like ourselves, we need cheeseburgers and we need food to breathe. So this process here is doing all 3 of those. We've got the food coming in being the raw effluent, we've got the biomass being the bacteria, and we've got the oxygen to keep them alive. Okay, what we're going to do, mate, is we're going to grab the bucket here with the rope on it.
Okay.
We're going to lower that into the reactor. What we want to do is completely submerge the bucket below the water, all right?
Sounds like fun.
Don't let the bucket go, because it'll disappear into the bottom of the tank, okay? And I don't want that to happen, all right?
The sample will be taken to the lab to measure the level of solid matter in suspension in the tank.
Yeah, keeping the bacteria in a real healthy state can only take about 12 hours for the process to actually turn upside down. And could actually take me up to a week to get it back online again. So it's very important that I keep a close eye on the process.
Sludge drops to the bottom, leaving clear water on the surface. This clear water is transferred from the tank to the third and final stage of the process.
What we're doing is we're just putting the wastewater through a fine filter, and just removes any final particles before we dispose of it. And we also use we've got UV for disinfection, so that kills any of the final bacteria in the wastewater before it gets disposed. This particular plant in Pawanui has got the toughest consents in New Zealand. Basically, the water that we're putting off these plants are drinkable, and that they decided to have that quality because the final treated effluent of these plants is going to be used for irrigating the local parks and reserves.
The sludge is pumped to a dewatering plant, which turns the muddy mix into a dry compost.
And that's what it looks like now, with all the water taken out of it. So if you've got a good garden at home, ideal for it.
Okay. And the smell's gone too.
Yep.
I was expecting a lot of sewage, just everywhere, you know. But no, it's like a backyard even, you know. It's really clean here. It doesn't even smell. So Thierry, do you have to be able to do calculus or write lengthy essays to do this job?
Yeah, well, having some understanding of maths is certainly an advantage. But to tell you the truth, I left school when I was 15.
Okay.
So I wasn't an expert on maths or writing essays and that. But certainly over the years since I've been doing my job, I've become a lot more familiar with using formulas and maths.
Okay.
And also writing reports mainly with the computer now.
What sets modern wastewater treatment apart is the advanced level of monitoring and automation. The process can be controlled both in the office or at home simply by dialing up using a laptop. But however sophisticated the gear, collecting samples and lab calculations is very much part of the job.
Lab work is very important to my job here. It's so we can make process changes to our treatment plant to really make sure the processes are working correctly, and that we end up with a final influent that meets our resource consent conditions. So certainly the testing is a important part of my role as an operator at the plant here. There you go, Kevin. That's why I enjoy my job so much. You won't find any stream in New Zealand that looks as good as that.
So has Kevin scrubbed up as well as the water?
Yeah, Kevin's done really well. It's good to have someone to when you can explain to them the process and they can actually question your conversation. So I think that's great to actually hear from a student.
I had a wonderful experience. It's very fulfilling. It's a lot of learning, and it's a lot of fun too.
There is a national certificate in wastewater treatment and the skills are learnt on the job. Anyone with a practical bent and strong initiative can be a wastewater treatment operator. Good results in NCEA Maths and Science is often enough to secure a place. Water industry training is the only industry recognised training program. To study, you need to be employed in the industry. The principles of running a water treatment plant are the same everywhere, so the skills learnt here can extend to anywhere in the country. Well, the water might have been good enough to drink, but I'm with you, Kev. I prefer my stuff out of the tap too. After the break, we catch up with Rob, who gets an insight into the hugely varied hire industry and finds himself at the helm of some very impressive machinery. This is Just the Job. Welcome back to Just the Job, where every week we take a look at 3 different careers to give you an insight into just some of the amazing opportunities that are out there for you. Now, you're self-motivated, but you also enjoy being part of a team. Well, then this next career might be for you. Let's catch up with Rob as he checks out some of the big boys' toys of the hire industry.
Hey, I'm Rob, I'm 17 and I'm looking forward to find out about the hire industry.
Well, to find out more about the hire industry, Rob's up bright and early to meet hire industry expert Rory Jackson.
Rory's my name. Rob, see.
They're going to take a tiki tour around a handful of Auckland's hire companies Rory's chosen to illustrate the huge variety in gear that can be readily hired.
The sorts of things that we look for are good presentation, so somebody that is well groomed, and people who are self-motivated and willing to be part of a team.
New Zealand's hire industry offers enormously wide career opportunities.
The hire industry is really varied. You can hire everything from a teaspoon to a 20-tonne digger, even larger sometimes.
Rob's starting the day at the sort of general equipment hire facility that's commonplace everywhere. First off, there's checking and cleaning equipment that's been out on a hire.
So what actually is this machine? Is it a...
This is a belt sander.
Yeah.
These are used by painters to sort of sand back weatherboards, and they come back pretty grubby, as you can see, pretty much covered in dust.
Yeah.
And quite often need to be cleaned.
After the equipment is returned, there's a physical inspection of both the gear and its cable, and a test for electrical safety.
Customer focus is very important. Hire companies generally have similar equipment. The only difference at times is the person that's actually hired the equipment to them and the rapport that they were able to build with that customer.
Rob's given the chance to deal with a customer who wants to hire a trailer.
G'day, how's things going?
Good, thank you.
My name's Rob.
Dave's my name.
So what are you after for today?
I'm after a furniture trailer.
Yep.
No problems for Rob here. He's friendly and confident and not afraid to get out in the yard and get stuck in.
Yep.
So with furniture on the move, Rob's on the road too. Next stop, Komatsu, New Zealand's leading earth-moving equipment supplier. Jeff O'Leary is the company's operator trainer.
G'day Jeff.
How's it going, mate? Oh, good to see you. Yeah, good to see you too, mate.
This is Rob. This is
Rob,
Jeff.
pleased to meet you, mate.
You
Welcome
too.
to Komatsu. So this is some of the product. We've got wheel loaders, excavators, dozers.
Yep.
We're Komatsu New Zealand is a major supplier to the hire industry,
Yeah.
especially in the bigger product.
Yep.
When Komatsu deliver new equipment to hire companies, Jeff trains their operators so that they can get the best out of it and operate it safely. Today it's Rob that's up for training on a shiny new PC35.
And this makes your tracks walk, forward and back.
So I mean, if I push like that, and that just moves this right one.
Yep,
And
exactly.
then if I do them together, they go both.
Yep.
Yeah, sweet.
With some thorough instruction, Rob's then given a go.
Big sand pit.
Hey Rob, you're a natural. Are you ready for the big stuff?
Hey Rob, here we are at a specialist access hire division where they hire out equipment such as knuckle booms, scissor lifts, scaffolding.
Who would use this sort of equipment?
It's used by builders and sparkies, painters, pest control, or any situation where you need to work at height to get your job done.
Oh yeah.
Are you scared of heights, mate?
Not really.
Not really? Well, I hope not, mate, because you're going up in one of those bad boys right there for a
yeah,
bit of a
sweet.
play around.
Keith Galloway will show Rob how to head for the heights.
No matter what direction you're heading, always watch where you're going. That's why the floors are all grated like this, so you can actually see directly below you.
Yeah.
Just slow down on your top boom. That's it. Beauty. Steady hand.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool up there. Pretty good view. No, it got the nerves going a bit.
Rob's on the road again, this time off to Edwards Sound Systems, who hire audio, visual and event staging equipment.
So Rob, do you enjoy going to parties, mate?
Oh yeah, do I what? You know, there seems to be a lot of stuff here that I'd love to get my hands on.
Yeah, well the event and party industry is a pretty broad industry.
In fact, equipment for events is a big part of the hire industry, and you can hire anything from a marquee to a wine glass, or here at Edwards, sound and lighting gear. You can hire equipment to operate yourself, and if you want the full bells and whistles, there's a party demonstration room.
The hire industry would appeal to anybody really. Somebody's interested in engineering, they've got their mechanical side that they could go down. If somebody's interested in catering, sound, technical equipment, interested in working at height or working with large machinery, there's access and large equipment set aside so that they could look at.
I think Rob will go a long way in customer service. He seemed to pick up the operation of the diggers pretty easily, and he looked particularly comfortable in the disco room. I'm just sorry he didn't get up and dance. Generally, Rob's got the right people skills for the industry.
Oh, I have to say, the digger driving was pretty sweet, and then the disco was pretty good.
There's no mandatory qualifications for entering the hire industry. All training is learnt on the job. It's a people industry, so establishing a good rapport with your customers and workmates is important. The hire industry is vast, so no matter what your skill set is, chances are there will be something to suit you and your particular skills. With the right attitude, aptitude and interests, promotion prospects are good and you will find your efforts can be very well rewarded. Well done, Rob. You did awesome, mate, and you definitely have the skills to go far if you do decide to follow in that career. So if after watching Rob he sparked your interest in the hire industry, then you can find out more about that career and all the careers featured throughout our entire series on our website. So during the break, go grab that pen and paper. I'll have all those details for you at the end of the program. When we come back, we join Danielle as she puts her practical skills to good use. This is Just the Job. You're watching Just the Job, and if you're trying to figure out what career path to follow, then make sure you catch us each week because this show could spark a turning point when it comes to your work life. We're going to catch up with Danielle now. She's going to need a practical outlook and plenty of self-motivation if she's going to make it as an automotive electrical engineer. Check that baby out.
Hi, I'm Danielle. I'm 17 and I'm from Ashburton. I'm keen to check out auto electrical because with modern technology and electrical in cars these days, it seems like a good career path.
Luckily for Danielle, right here in Ashburton is one of the country's busiest automotive electrical workshops. Here to show her around the job is automotive electrical technician Mike Bright.
Hi, I'm Danielle.
Hi, I'm Mike. Are you interested in doing auto electrical work?
Yes, I am.
Would you like to come inside and I'll show you what it's all about?
Sure.
What we do is basically is just to repair, service and maintain electrical systems on vehicles. We cover agricultural equipment, trucks and buses, cars, motorbikes. We get ride-on mowers here and four-wheel drive vehicles. Okay, we're out in the yard here. One of the first jobs I'll get you to do is finish installing the speaker here on the sound system. But before we do that, I need to get you into your safety overalls. There you go. The type of person that would suit working in this industry really needs to be self-motivated, needs to be keen, and they need to have an actual interest in the industry. A good practical outlook is helpful. Okay, looking good. Ready to go. First up then, what I need you to do is connect these wires into the back of the speaker here.
Okay.
So the red one goes into the plus there, and the black one goes into the minus there.
Okay.
There we go. And there's a screwdriver. Yep. And then just put it back into the hole there.
With the speaker installed, it's time to test the sound system.
Sounds good to me. Job well done.
Cool.
On to the next one. Okay, this is a brand new built bus. We're going to go out and road test it. We need to check that certain parameters are all working correctly.
Okay.
This is Serge, he's going to be our driver today.
Thanks.
But before they can head off on the road, there's a faulty door to be fixed, so Mike sets up the laptop to diagnose the source of the problem.
Okay, so we've got the laptop hooked up to the body control modules. So we just need to check what inputs and outputs we got now to see why the doors aren't opening. This gives us a list of all our inputs and outputs. So when they're white, it means they're switched on. And when they're black, it means they're switched off. Now one thing that I have noticed here is the door ramp switch is not on. And if the door ramp's not on, we can't close the doors. So I would say that our problem is in that circuit. Okay, first up we need to have a look underneath and just make sure the ramp switch is actually connected. And the wiring for that is just under here. And that looks pretty good to me, doesn't it, you?
Yep, they're all connected.
Excellent. So the next thing we need to do, make sure that there's no dust or debris trapped underneath the ramp. So we just need to pull it over like so. And straight away, you can see that there's a stone stuck underneath the ramp.
So that's what was stopping the doors from closing?
That's correct. For me, what I find interesting about this job is pretty much when you turn up for work, you get given a job, something doesn't work, you get to play around with it, work out how it's supposed to work, and then you fix it and you send the customer away quite happy. The opportunities in the auto electrical industry are endless really. After your basic apprenticeship, you can move into the air conditioning side and become a fully qualified air conditioning technician. You can go into first line management and take up a management position at the company you're working in. Or alternatively, you can go and set up on your own. There's a high demand for auto electrical technicians.
Hi, you Mark?
Yes, I am.
Mike told me I'm going to be working with you on some aircon.
Yep, that's right. What we've got here is a tractor that's, the air conditioning's not working. So what we're going to do is we've got a temperature gauge here and we're just going to start the tractor up briefly and just to see what the temperature is coming out these vents up here.
Okay.
Right. As you can see, it's pretty warm coming out these vents. It's not working at all.
No.
So what we'll do next is we'll go down and we'll check the gauges and see what they're reading.
Okay.
In this job, you definitely need to be able to think outside of the square. Although the principles of how things work are pretty much the same across all the vehicles, the way in which you go about finding them and fixing them varies across all the different types of vehicles.
So if you just shine that light around some of these connections up here and see if you can see any of that dye coming out there.
I think I found something, Mark.
Have you?
Yeah.
Having located the leak in the air conditioning system, the rubber seal is replaced and it's all cool inside the tractor.
Good subjects to study, I would say, would be maths, English, maybe even a science kind of qualification, something technical, and definitely computer studies.
So what should it be reading?
Well, it should be about 6 degrees. It's working well. Good job, well done.
I thought Danielle did really well today. She was very keen and enthusiastic to learn. She followed instructions really well and she carried out all the tasks successfully, which is all we can ask.
I really enjoyed turning the tractor on with the aircon job. That was really cool. And yeah, I just think it could be a good career path for me.
A national certificate in automotive electrical engineering level 4 takes 3 to 4 years of on-the-job training to complete. Students can take part in a secondary school automotive training program called Startup, which is run by Mito and provides a pathway for students into the automotive industry. The demand for automotive electrical technicians is growing as manufacturers are installing more electronic components in new vehicles. Well done, Danielle. You look like a natural, and maybe a career as an automotive electrical engineer could be just the job for her. So thank you so much, Danielle, and everyone else who featured in today's program. Now these days there are so many careers out there, but that doesn't make the decision any easier. So we really hope our programs will help you when it comes to making this all-important career decision. To help you even more, Selwyn from Career Services has some excellent advice on making sure you have good basic skills to ensure you don't limit your opportunities.
Employers hire people who can read and write well. It's pretty hard these days to think of a job where these skills aren't needed. Maths, reading, writing and computer skills are a must-have in today's workplace, and without them, your job options are pretty limited. It's always better to get work you want rather than settling for second best. If you're struggling, you need to get some help, and it's much easier to get that sorted while you're still at school. Talking to your parents, whānau and teachers and working on this now will save you plenty of time later on.
Well, sadly that's it for this week, but we'll be back again next week with 3 more fascinating careers plus plenty of information to help you succeed in getting the career you want. Now if you'd like more information about the careers featured today, or just more info about how to make that right career choice, simply jump on our program website at tvnz.co.nz and enter the keywords Just the Job. Good luck, and I'll see you again next week.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.